excited 2 weeks ago. 2 weekends ago, I took my LSAT.
Woo!
I am preparing to go back to law school. And so in getting ready to go back to school, I've been really reflecting on what college was for me. And a lot of the lessons that I learned. I think any of us can agree that in our post-high school eras, we all learned a lot about ourselves. Yeah, kind of really came to be who we were. And so now going back into a college setting, I'm looking at those lessons, and I'd like to share some of those lessons with you folks tonight, if that's all right. Lesson number 1, do not let your roommate give you a home perm. Lesson number 2, do not let your roommate give you a home perm a week before you go camping for a month. Yeah, chemically treated. This hair is so thin, like this is like spaghetti hair. This hair chemically treated in a river for a month. Have you seen pictures of lions? Because I had hair down to about my ass, and it was layered, and that top layer was just full puffball. Yeah, just had to cut it all off. The second most important lesson, and the one that I really would like for all of you to take home with you tonight: never get super baked and shop for a vibrator. When I first went to school, I was a little repressed Southside Irish Catholic schoolgirl dating a guy who was wildly too old for me. And in his attempts to get me to not cheat on him, because I was 18 and in college and he was, again, wildly too old for me, he gave me a vibrator and I was like, hey, cool. I'm like, great. And that vibrator served me well. The boyfriend did not. Obviously, we didn't last very long. But the vibrator made it into my sophomore year of college, and then it died.
Aww.
Port went out for Big Orange. I called him Home Depot because he did a lot of housework. But yeah, he died, and I was chronically single, so like no real dick anywhere in sight. And I was focusing on my studies at the time, super serious. So I decided I needed to replace my vibrator. And so there was no possible way, because like I said, super repressed Southside Irish Catholic schoolgirl, there was no way in hell I could go to Lion's Den or Spencer's or anywhere where I would have to make eye contact with another humanoid person and say, yes, please take my money, give me batteries, and give me this thing that I will rub against my loins later for hours. And we'll just have some small talk over it. I couldn't do that, so I decided there was one day out of my schedule where I had a lab day. So that meant I only went to school until about noon, and then I had the rest of the day to myself. I was supposed to be doing housework and schoolwork and all that stuff, but typically I would just go home and drink a bunch of spiked apple cider and play Fable. Which was a really cool game that apparently none of you liked. Anyways. Fable 3, thank you very much, was the best of it. Oh, really? That's what you tell the free guys was Fable 3. Fable 2 is okay. I don't know, the graphics weren't as good, and I need the video games that have the sparkly trail that says, this is what you need to do to be successful, because I don't have the attention span to figure it out. But anyways, so instead of playing Fable, I decided this would be my sex toy shopping day. And I was going to make a day of it. I took the bus back from campus, pulled out my sticker-encrusted laptop and set it down, and loaded a bowl, smoked said bowl, and typed into Google, adult sex toys.
Oh, no.
So you know when you Google things, at the bottom, when you, like where it shows how many pages of search results you get, it just extends the O's in Google? There were so many O's. Which was, the ultimate goal, so it all kind of worked out. So I smoked another bowl, and I started on page 1. And I look around, I'm not really finding anything. I smoked another bowl, move on to page 2. We're averaging about a bowl a page here, so I'll fast forward for you guys. And we get to about page 5, 6. And now it's dinner time, and I'd like to remind you all about 1920 at this time. So my dinner consisted of a bottle of Blackberry Arbor Mist. So I started ordering my dinner for myself. So I had a glass of wine, and I kept moving on to those pages, and then finally, I found it. I found the website that was going to have exactly what I needed. It was perfect for me. It was adamandeve.com.
Yes.
Which is a bargain because every purchase comes with a free DVD and a free gift. So I was like, okay, cool, adamandeve.com, I see you. I'll start shopping around on here. So I start scrolling through and we start continuing the thing. And at this point, I am a bottle of wine deep and at least an 8 deep. And so I am stoned and drunk, and then I found it. I knew I didn't want anything that was super usual. I wanted, like, if I was going to spend money on shipping, and I was going to have to wait a couple of days for some kind of gratification, I was going to get something fucking cool. But it still had to be something that I convinced my mother that it was a travel size. Like, I don't know anybody from like the early 2000s, 90s remember the travel style curling irons that have the little compressed air packet that went in there. I had to be able to convince her it was one of those, just in case she came across it while she was helping me move. But I found it. And there was something about it. There was a moving deep inside me when I saw it come up on the webpage that I knew I could not live. I could not continue my life without the iPod, which was a $99 vibrator that synced with your iPod. It had a very special attachment that went on the end that housed an aux cable. You put your aux cable in there, hook the aux cable up to your phone, and there you go. Gives a whole new meaning to your favorite song. They definitely didn't ditch class the day it came in the mail. And that's how I got into EDM. I've always gotten into trouble with my sexual proclivities and technology. I recently moved into a building that's a very old building. All of my neighbors and I are very on top of each other, and there's not a whole lot of space in between the different units. And I have this tradition that I like to do before I go to bed. I call it playing lobster. It means I get in the shower as hot as I can go until I scream and turn red. Which also involves letting the water warm up while I'm listening to my podcasts. And there's this funny thing about smart speakers. You can always just say, hey Alexa, play whatever, and they do it. And then you say, hey Alexa, stop playing whatever, and they do it. But they don't disconnect from your phone. So I will play lobster sometimes, and not so much in recent history because now there is real dick in sight. So stay tuned. Give it up for my real dick. It's great. So I haven't had to resort to this, but typically I would play lobster, and then I would engage in guided meditations using multimedia presentations to aid me in sleep. I would watch porn and masturbate. Yeah, there you go. I would on my tube or Pornhub and watch some stuff. And one time I was watching it, and it was, I don't know, Cindy Lou who does Dusseldorf on spring break, I don't know. But this chick is getting railed in the back of a VW bus, and I'm like, yes, this is it! But I can't hear any of it, so I'm just cranking up the volume on my phone, like, what the hell? Why can't I hear it? And then, at the peak, the most porniest you can possibly imagine, I hear it coming from my bathroom. That's right, my phone was still connected to the smart speaker in the bathroom, so my poor World War II vet neighbor upstairs, Charlie, has just listened to Daisy Dusseldorf Does Spring Break, screaming at the top of her lungs, and I want to know, Hallmark, where's my card for that?